Aloha, y'all! This is the 2-for-1 hula lesson, how to cut a Hawaiian-style block so carefully from one piece of fabric that you get 2 appliques. I'm Stacy Michell. I'm a lifelong machine quilter, and I've done a great job adapting the big, beautiful hand applique, hand-quilted style of the Hawaiian quilt to machine projects. This quilt by Kathy Nakajima was certainly part of my inspiration. A little while back, it was featured on the cover of Patchwork 2 Sheet. Part of what makes this quilt so dynamic is its great use of my fabric. I call this a hand-dyed hula hoop. It's dyed in a circular motion that radiates from the center out. And yes, this is a big piece of fabric. The one that we were just looking at is about 100 inches square. But don't worry, today's project uses a small hula hoop, a 20-inch square. Hula hoops are available in thousands of colors. To make it easier, we've limited it to 18 colors on our website for the 2-for-1 Hula Lessons kit. The kit has 2 patterns, Palm Beach and Hawaiian Hula Flower, and 4 pieces of shade Soft Fuse. When you're done, you'll have 2 fabulous blocks in your choice of the Palm Beach design or the Hawaiian Hula Flower design, and in your choice of color for the hula hoop. The kit also has black fabric and white fabric for the background. Or try making this project out of 2 layers of hula hoop. When I first started cutting Hawaiian applique blocks for a machine finish, I realized a big problem. Half the fabric was going in the trash can, and that was just unacceptable. I realized that this was machine applique, and machine applique has no seam allowance. Therefore, the line was the line. Cutting 2 applique blocks out of 1 piece of fabric just couldn't be that difficult. Start by aligning 1 piece of fusible over the pattern. You want to put this piece glue side or rough side down, paper side up. I like to trace with just a cheap ink pen. Trace the design 1 time. For this project, we use 4 small pieces 8 by 9 inches of Soft Fuse. It's important to have a 20-inch ironing surface. I often use a beach towel. Find the center of the block and fuse the first piece into the upper right quadrant of the fabric. Then fuse the second piece of fusible in place below it, the third piece, and the 4th piece. Now we've covered the entire piece of fabric with fusible. Do not overlap the fusible. Position the pieces of fusible just a hair width apart. The positioning of the 1 piece with the tracing on it is the most important. You fold the fabric, make sure you fold it right to the edge of the piece with the tracing. Cutting a Hawaiian block is kind of like cutting a paper snowflake. Now we want to fold the fabric, leaving the traced image on the top layer. The fabric will be 4 layers thick. Next, I like to use just a regular stapler. I need this to be very secure when I go to cut. And staples both inside and outside of the line. Do not put staples on the line. This design has little coconuts in the center on both sides. I usually cut those 8 layers deep. I can't trace 2 the same and I can't cut 2 the same. So that's the one cut that I do make 8 layers thick. Choosing the right scissors for this project is very important. I love these little clover scissors. They just cut through everything I want them to. They're needle nose sharp and they cut all the way out to the end of the tip. Start cutting where the line meets the fold. On the Palm Beach, I like to cut the wave around the outside of the block first, and then cut the next line. Basically, just cut on the line. Cut exactly on the line, and cut only on the line. Okay, I'm done cutting, and you can see how I've got an inside and an outside applique. I use an unusual staple remover. It just pries the staple out by sliding a little metal tongue underneath it. Put 2 fingers on either side of the staple to secure the fabric, insert the remover, and push straight through. Please practice staples and staple removing before you do it with this project. Now we want to get our background fabric ready. I like pressing a plus and an X into my background fabric as registration guides. Fold the fabric in half on the length, in half on the width. Now flip back the top layer on an angle from the center, flip it over, flip back the bottom layers on an angle from the center, and lightly press. When you open this, you will have a plus and an X. Start removing the paper backing from the applique and positioning it on your background fabric. Gingerly remove the paper backing, making sure that the glue stays on the fabric and the paper comes off. Keep the paper pattern handy so that you can look at it and check where everything needs to be. Position, 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 and then fuse. I use a pouncing motion when I fuse my applique. Lift the iron and move it. Release your hand, count 1, 2, 3, lift the iron and move it. Release your hand, count 1, 2, 3, lift the iron and move. Once you think you've gotten everything fused on the front of this block, turn it over and you can slide the iron across the back. Press a plus and an X into your second piece of backing fabric and start removing the staples from this applique. Open the applique to roughly position it. Remove paper, position, 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 position a little more. Remember to get out your paper pattern to look at and make sure that you've got everything in the right place. And once it's all in the right place, fuse with the pouncing motion. 1, 2, 3, lift and move. And voila, we have another applique block. Oh, almost. There are the 4 little coconuts that go in the center of this one. I don't like to put them there until everything else is fused in place. We now have 2 fused Hawaiian style applique blocks cut from 1 piece of fabric. All the products used in this project are available at my website, shadestextiles.com. 2-for-1 Hula Lessons is also available as a 45-minute downloadable video from fondsandporter.com. I do travel and teach this class in many locations. Fall of 2009, I'll be teaching at the International Quilt Festival in Houston. And of course, more of my travel information is available on my website, shadestextiles.com.